Episode-5. She's my wife. Rachel's shiny black eyes reflected the fear brimming inside her. Joshua Taylor was dressed in a well-tailored, dark gray suit, and as he sat in the car quietly, one could clearly sense how superior he thought himself to be. His expression was grave, and yet he looked furious. Everyone around him could sense his fury, and they all held their breaths in fear. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, she stammered. Rachel couldn't feel any pain throughout her body. Instead, she gripped her fingers in anxiety and hurriedly moved backwards. However, before she was able to proceed far, her shoulder was grabbed by an icy cold hand. She froze on the spot, and as she turned around, her eyes met Joshua Taylor's. They were glazed with danger. His grave stare made Rachel feel as if she were being held by her throat as she felt suffocated and choking. "Is this to provoke me?" Joshua Taylor remarked coldly. Huh? Rachel was stunned. What does he mean? He thought that she appeared there to threaten him with revealing her identity as Mrs. Taylor. He thought she wanted to negotiate terms with him. No, I don't mean that. I'm not. Him mistaking Rachel's situation caused her to feel very anxious, and she wanted to explain herself. Midway through her sentence, she suddenly realized that many reporters were eyeing them as if they were glancing at their prey. They would be exposed if she misspoke so much as one word. "Mr. Taylor, you are mistaking my intentions. I have absolutely no intentions of provoking you. My chief editor ordered me to interview you, so I was forced and had no choice at all. Mr. Taylor, could you tell us who exactly is Mrs. Taylor?" Rachel suddenly had an idea, and her expression became one that was fawning and gossipy. When she finished her sentence, she looked at Joshua Taylor anxiously. He didn't move, and his pair of eyes looked as calm as the ocean. They had such depth that no one would be able to guess what was going through his mind. Rachel swallowed nervously, internally wishing for him to ask her to scram off. As they were in a stalemate, a coquettish voice came from the inside of the car. "Dear Joshua, see how shocked the pitiful reporter is? Everyone else is also having a hard time waiting here. Why don't you tell them who Mrs. Taylor is?" Rachel's irises contracted when she realized a woman was sitting in the rear seat of the car. She was Julia Murphy, the female lead of the drama. She couldn't help but glance at Julia Murphy and Joshua Taylor, back and forth. Why would they be together in the same car? Yesterday, Joshua had left in the middle of the night. Could it be that he had gone to... However, at that instant, as she was immersed in her thoughts, the reporters behind her burst in excitement. As Joshua was well known to be aloof, the reporters had come with the mentality that they might not manage to capture anything. Little did they know there was a surprise in store. Click, click, click. There were continuous sounds of photos being taken. Everyone also started questioning Julia Murphy's appearance in his car. "Mr. Taylor, may I know why you are entering the set with Miss Murphy? It's only the second day of your marriage, and you especially came to act in this set? Are you here to show support to Miss Julia Murphy? Mr. Taylor, may I know who your wife is? Is she someone in the industry?" The questions were thrown continuously to Joshua Taylor. His gaze turned cold as his lips moved and outflowed a mellifluous voice. "Since all of you are so curious, let me tell you." As Rachel watched the uncontrolled scene, she suddenly had a bad hunch. Unluckily, her hunch came true. Joshua Taylor's fingers suddenly pointed to her, and he said, "My wife is her."